Welcome, viewing audience. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Bilalian Voices in the Tradition of Imam W. Deen Mohammed. Today's date is June 26, 2025, and this is episode number 52. And today's featured guest is Imam Earl Abdulmalik Mohammed. We begin by greeting as we Muslims greet each other. Peace be upon you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
I am your host, Terenzo El-Amin, business owner of El-Amin Priority Distributors, located here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and also Imam, joined by my co-host out of Rochester, New York, Imam Hanif Abdul Wahid.
Assalamu alaikum.
Before we get into our episode, we would like to share with you some announcements associated with the leadership of Muslim American leader Imam Earl Abdulmalik Mohammed. Join us for the fourth annual Muslim American Leadership Day to take place in the historic city of Rochester, New York. Muslim American leader Imam Earl Abdulmalik Mohammed will deliver a major public address on Saturday, July 5th, 2025 at the Memorial Art Gallery there in Rochester, New York. Doors open at 12 p.m. This public address is free and open to the public. Imam Earl Abdulmalik Mohammed's address is entitled, "The Commencement of America, Dawning of the Just Order." Again, this is the fourth annual Independence Day address in the tradition of Imam W. Deen Mohammed. Before the address, we will have a brief performance by Rochester's own international recording artist, Mr. Jimmy Highsmith. For more information regarding this event, you can go to MuslimAmericanMinistry.com. Join us every Sunday for our Taaleem entitled Researching Islam as Faith, Knowledge, and Action in America and the Modern World. Instruction and Reasoning, Taaleem, in the WDM School of Islamic Thought and Practice. This class is led by Imam Earl Abdulmalik Mohammed. For more information, you can go to eamspeaks.com, hit the tab WDM School of Islamic Thought and Practice to sign up for free. Again, this is every Sunday morning, a live discussion with question and answer on Sunday morning. Go to eamspeaks.com to sign up. What we would like to do now is to show two brief clips coming from Rochester, New York, in which our co-host, Imam Hanif Abdul Wahid, was honored for his public work there in that great city of Rochester. And then we'll have a few words from Imam Hanif about this recognition that he received on the honorable weekend of Juneteenth.
To one of the greatest mentors of a lifetime, we honor Elder Imam Hanif Abdul Wahid. He is a lifelong Rochester resident and servant leader with over 35 years of dedicated service to freedom, justice, and equality. As an imam at the New Africa Cultural Center and founding member of organizations like RAIN and the Greater Rochester Black Agenda Group, he has led efforts to combat structural racism education, housing, youth employment, and civic engagement, always grounded in the belief that dignity is essential to liberty and community well-being. Elder Hanif continues to build bridges between residents and public institutions to create lasting, people-centered, real, tangible change in our lives and community. Please give a round of applause for Elder Hanif.
And we have another clip, words from Imam Hanif Abdul Wahid, and then we'll get some feedback from him after we play this clip.
With the name of Allah, the merciful benefactor, the merciful redeemer, I stand before you today deeply honored and humbled to receive this recognition as an elder in our community. This award is just not a symbol of personal achievement, but it's a reflection of a shared journey I have taken with many others, and you see them with me here today as I share this stage. Thank you to the committee who has worked to define this recognition into a tradition to be fulfilled for many years to come. Being a part of Afro Rochester has been a privilege for me, and I have witnessed the growth, the resilience, and the spirit that has defined this, starting with all of our ancestors who came before me and left us with these traditions, values, and collective wisdom. It has shaped who I am as a person, and I am proud to have contributed in my own way. I'd like to give a special acknowledgement to my mentor, Baba Sankofa, who is still amongst us, and I wish he was here today to see me. This recognition is also a reminder of the responsibility that we carry as elders to guide, support, and inspire the next generation. The current generation that we have now is the 7th generation since Juneteenth. And this is the generation that has been prophesied that is going to lead us to our dignity. So it's right here, standing before us. Let us continue to foster unity, kindness, and progress in them in everything we do to reach our goal. And to my family and children and future progeny, don't ever forget that our family is blessed in service to others. I'm coming. To my wife, Baby Cakes, who is out here, I love you very much. And thank you for the support. And to my Bag family, Bag for life. You know what you mean to me, and you know what you mean to this village. And to the Islamic community, I owe my deepest gratitude to my leader, the late Imam W, Deen Mohammed, and all the believers in Rochester. Thank you for your support of me for over 40 years. Continue to love Rochester, its history, the part that you will play in its future. Together we will keep loving our community and make it strong. We'll make it one city, not divided, but thriving for years. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you.
Imam Wahid, could you share with the viewing audience what it felt like to receive that recognition and give us a little understanding of the size of that crowd? Because it looked like it was a lot of people there on that Saturday.
Yeah, well, the celebration was Juneteenth, and how we kick off Juneteenth in Rochester, we pay honor to elder and eldership. And this year I was selected as one of the elders in the community to be honored. And it is such an honor. I can't begin to tell you how the community rallies around you. They make it very nice for you. The uniform that you have to wear is white, which we know stands for purity. But I also told them, I said, this is my leader's clothes right here, Imam W, Deen Mohammed. These are his garments right here, and this is why they're so clean. I don't know, I had to go around and pick that suit out, but I thought I made a good choice. But praise be to Allah. In making my remarks, because you don't have that long to do it, maybe 60 to 90 seconds, I wanted to include everything that I thought had an impact in my life to make me who and what I've become, you know. Hopefully I've covered that. I know I missed a whole lot of things in it, but Rochester is a special place. I don't know if it's the water or what have you like that, but the activism there, our illustrious father, Frederick Douglass, who is the leader for the freedom movement almost of all time. It was just outstanding. And so the crowd came out, had my family there, had all my friends, had few of the believers in Rochester, you know. The Muslims hate to see you get honored like that because they come from a place a lot of times that, especially this new breed of Muslim that they got out here, is that any type of honor like that might break your back, you know, with praise. But outside of that, I thought it was real good and an award that, and I've gotten many of them, but this one here I sort of put up in a high place here because they're recognizing that service. Also, it's on the eve of our July 5th fourth year presentation of Independence Day, which honors the legacy of Frederick Douglass and puts before us the great work and effort of the African American Muslim community up under the leadership of Imam W. Deen Mohammed. Imam W. Deen Mohammed would bring out for us the importance of Frederick Douglass. And I didn't make the connection very early. I really wish that we could have gotten the Imam to come. That was our intention. But we did get a student to come there. And the community is excited and they're awaiting Imam Earl Abdulmalik Muhammad. And so we're going to try to have something very special for us all on that day. And as we await the Imam's message, Tuesday on the Greater Rochester Bag Live Facebook, we're going to be interviewing Imam Earl Abdulmalik Muhammad once again, you know.
And that's this
So,
Tuesday that's coming.
yes, and so not only that, we're looking for Muslims far and wide from all across the country to converge on Rochester for the Independence Day address. Falls on a pretty good day. Historically, Frederick Douglass gave his speech, What is with the 4th of July, on July 5th, 1852. He did it the day after Independence Day, so he could speak to a crowd, not disrespect the country's birthday. And that speech goes down in the annals of history as the greatest speech that looks to correct man and put him on a straight path. And it was a preamble to Lincoln declaring within his heart, he said, I don't have any choice but for us to go to war. So in the same vein, Imam Earl Abdulmalik Muhammad has been resurrecting the same argument that Frederick Douglass had before this country here. There was people, abolitionist people early, that had the idea that we should just tear up the Constitution because it was pro-slavery. It favored the slave master. And Frederick Douglass had to split from those abolitionists, and he started the movement up under the argument that no, anti-slavery is this document, and every word in it is against slavery. And he set out to prove that. And he did. And when we look at the argument that Imam Earl Abdulmalik Muhammad is making, and our leader Imam W. Deen Mohammed was making, they made it to get us to re-enter America after we have exited it. The Constitution has been amended over the years, thanks to Frederick Douglass, who showed us how to do that, who showed us how to get into the soul and the good angels of folks and people and get them to stand up for what is correct and move away from what is wrong. So his spirit should be with us in the past. It should be with us right now in the present. And most certainly, we need to catapult it out into the future so more souls can be liberated. So we've got some ideals. We're going to talk with the Imam about these things here. We think that we need to aggrandize all of the great ancestors. And this 50-year celebration of our leader, Imam W. Deen Mohammed, hopefully we're going to turn it up after July 5th here. So praises be to Allah. Thank you for showing that clip. It's still exciting to me. I was overwhelmed with it and very appreciative.
Well, we wanted to show that recognition, and we applaud your effort because you are a model on how to lead in the public. Because what we have witnessed in attending the Muslim American Independence Day address there in Rochester, New York, is the relationships that you have cultivated. One of the things I wanted to ask you, Imam Hanif, before our leader joins us, is that I want to say last year's Independence Day address, did we have a relative of Frederick Douglass in attendance?
No, it was the year before.
Okay, the year before.
Prior, in the second year. Yes, Jacqueline Spriggs. The Spriggs are relatives of Frederick Douglass through marriage. Her great grandfather, who is Nathaniel Spriggs, married Frederick Douglass's daughter. And out of that union became this. Now, there's a squabble today of all of the descendants of Frederick Douglass, and we know them now very well. But they all came out. In the year 2000, I was appointed along with maybe 15 other people to be on the Freedom Trail Commission. Our job was to pull forth the 19th century freedom movement, the events, the sites, and the personalities. And Frederick Douglass was one of the foremost persons that we were able to aggrandize and get more history on, get scholarship around and everything else. Well, his family started to appear and they wanted to get involved with it also too. And so as they gotten involved with it in terms of their passion and stuff like that, a lot of folks have come out and claimed them. But this woman here, they're direct descendants through marriage and everything else. And hopefully she'll be there this year. Last year she couldn't make it, but we're hoping to have her, a sister, and their children at this event, to meet the Imam. She met the Imam and she was very impressed with him. She said, I just have never heard anyone speak like this here. It would remind her of what has been taught to her through history and her relatives about her ancestor, Frederick Douglass. So, yeah, hopefully they'll be there. We're going to make sure that they're there.
Now, could you speak to the location? I mean, this is a nice location where we'll be at.
Yeah, we're going to be at the Memorial Art Gallery. This is our second year there. We're going to be in the auditorium. To real good space. The Memorial Art Gallery is visited yearly by by thousands of people in that area. It's a curator of historical art, modern art, and there's always displays. And it's a meeting place for organizations, groups, fraternities, government conferences, and everything. And so it accommodates the community, and it's centrally located in Rochester. We thought it would be befitting to have that for the Independence Day address. And so we're there once again this year. We're excited about it. We've been putting out the word and spreading it. We've had people in the community to assist us to get the word and the message out. You know, the 4th of July weekend is a difficult weekend. A lot of folks are traveling. There's a lot of outdoor activities, but we have challenged our community to come out and do that. And we have a very special guest and surprise, internationally known jazz artist Jimmy Highsmith, who is going to play on that day. He's going to serenade the crowd before the Imam gets on, but hopefully we're going to have a lot of outstanding surprises also for us in terms of the recognition of us coming up. We're already planning for year number 5, so we can get ready for that. But we're excited, and as always, it's sort of like a reunion for all of us. We all usually meet up in the middle of the year to see how we're doing. So I'm looking forward to seeing you, Imam. Looking forward to seeing Imam Duhan. And we do what we got to do. The community has asked that you bring your pies with you. We've got a place that you'll be able to vend those, sell them, and share them with the community. We got a nice place that we're going to have where we're going to eat, relax, and do some things to celebrate the 4th of July. So if we get there early also too on the 4th, we've got one of the most magnificent fireworks displays in the East Coast. We spend a lot of money each and every year on that. And so we're looking forward to seeing the believers.
We are looking forward to attending. Our Imam just joined us. We allow him to get himself ready to speak with us. Assalamu alaikum, Imam.
Walaikum.
Yeah.
Good to see you.
Praise be to Allah.
Yeah.
It's
Praise
wonderful
be to Allah,
to be here
Imam.
with you again.
Good to see you. Are you starting to get used to the heat that is on us now? The great weather that we've finally been somewhat pining for.
Yeah, praise be to Allah. I like pleasant weather, not too hot though. I don't like extreme weather. This is
Right.
kind of extreme
Yes.
heat. Yeah.
Praises be to Allah. Imam, we thank you once again for joining us and coming on. We're going to keep you busy these next couple of weeks here because, as always, in the middle of the year, you come to Rochester, New York, around the 4th of July and give a most important address, which is called the Independence Day Address. We're within our 4th year now. And as our community is anticipating you coming, I wanted to ask this here, and I sort of need to frame this question here. I think I may have asked you this in prior years also too, but the argument and intent of the Constitution of the United States in the last year or so, you have made it clear and made the same argument that our ancestor Frederick Douglass would make. The early abolitionists said that the Constitution needed to be tore up and rewritten. Frederick Douglass, he left those abolitionists and says no, is that the Constitution is against slavery. And he has made this argument. He made it in Glasgow, England. You have also said in your written missive to USA Today of how we exited and then had to re-enter, and we re-entered with that understanding. So I wanted to ask that the intent of your topic in Rochester, the commencement of America, the dawning of the just order. This seems to me, or sounds like to me, being one of your ardent followers, that you're articulating and having the same argument that we had to have when this country was started. People still need to believe that we can make a difference and make people live up to the high values, high moral, and the high language of the Constitution. Could you speak to that?
Yes, thank you. As I'm listening to you, I have many thoughts to support the premise of what we wanted to present in Rochester. And you're reminding me of several of them. It wasn't that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, the late leader, wasn't desiring to be in America. His desire was, as all of African-American people, to be respected for his inherent worth, and to have his people, the African-American people, respected as a community of human beings entitled to recognition by the society and supported by the society for the citizenship aspirations. So whatever the society, American society, offered to any of its law-abiding citizens, that the African-American people should be respected in the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And but his experience, as was the overwhelming majority of Black people in America, was that the country was hypocritical toward its values. And he couldn't find comfort identifying as a citizen. And he couldn't find comfort in even the presentation of religion, Christianity. There was no, in the presentation of Christianity that is aligned with the justification of the ill treatment of his people, there was no comfort for Black people. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was sensitive to it. And this is all before he came into contact with his teacher in Detroit. Already he had something stirring in him that was had a receptivity for something different as a message for Black people and the establishment of Black people in America. And the pathway for that establishment had to honestly assess America's hypocrisy, which caused him to accept that, at least psychologically and spiritually, if not physically, exit America.
Mhm.
It wasn't possible for him to accept that in the present, or in that present presentation of American values, that there was any hope for Black people. And his conclusion was reasonable.
Mhm.
It wasn't unreasonable. So Mr. W.D. Farad, who was his teacher, found him to be a receptive student and representative of that particular appeal of the teaching of the Nation of Islam. But in that teaching, Mr. Farad, was a acknowledgement and a recognition, and I think a respectful recognition of the founding values of America. And I know that there'll be people who don't understand that, and they'll
Right.
they'll dispute that. But all of what Mr. Farad presented had symbolic value, and he said that he came July 4th. Anyone who's acquainted with the importance of July 4th in the United States of America knows that that is a central holiday, central recognition in the life of the American people, establishing their political values, but more importantly, their moral values before the world, that they reject the premise that the dignity of man is owing to some kind of distribution on the part of monarchies, that the dignity of man, the dignity of humans, is inherent, and that the American society, under this idea, declares itself independent of other ideas, and it stands upon this sacred kind of recognition of the value of human life and the potential of human life as it has been designated and prescribed by a creator, that rights are conferred to a human being from their very creation. And so that the society itself, as it's constructed or constituted, evolves out of this inherent and sacred requisition in the soul and spirit of human creation as given to human creation by God. So Mr. Farad, he didn't say all that. He didn't acknowledge all that what I just described, except in a symbol, when he said that he came July 4th. So in the course and processes of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's leadership, there was also a recognition that in order for the Nation of Islam and Islamic or Muslim identity to fix itself in America, that there had to be a recognition or an accommodation for relationships with people who had themselves honorable intent. And the Honorable Elijah Muhammad displayed that. He displayed respect for the society itself. He, one example of that is the disciplining of his national representative, Malcolm X. When President John F. Kennedy was assassinated, he disciplined him because of statements that he made, and his comments were that this was the President of the United States and he was respected and loved man by the citizens. So this is a recognition of the order of society and a general regard for American society. This was the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's recognition of that. And he also said towards the end of his life, very specifically, that if the white people can do good by you, speaking of his following, then you do good by the white people. This was his statement. So this is also an acknowledgement. Now, for all the years of his leadership, he had taken a particular position and used a particular language owing to obedience to his teacher, but he made a way for change. And that change came in the form of the religion of Islam itself, as taught by his son, Deen Mohammed, our late leader. So I have said, and I've said this in repeating what Imam W. Deen Mohammed said, that his father knew instinctively that he had to leave America, but he didn't know exactly how to get back in. But Imam W. Deen Mohammed knew how to get back in. And so what I'm explaining to you now, or what I'm saying to you now, is the teaching of Imam W. Deen Mohammed.
Praises be to Allah. Well, we anticipate your topic, the commencement of America, dawning of the just order, on July the 5th. The intent of that topic, I guess you just explained it. America has been very peculiar since its inception. And the way that it has to be viewed in this day and time, with all of the troubles and stuff in the world, everything that we're seeing in terms of wars, rumors of wars, and everything else like that, I think the people in Rochester are going to want to come out and hear what you have to say.
Yes, there have been periods before now that have challenged the view of America toward the dignity of the human person. And the president during the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln, he identified that conflict as a conflict in debate or discussion of whether a society that is evolved out of the sanctity of the human person can survive on the earth. Mm-hmm. That was his state. Well, I'm giving it in my language, but that was his statement. He said in the Gettysburg Address, he stated that that particular instance was a battlefield in a war to determine if government of the people, by the people, and for the people can survive on the earth. So what he's saying is something evolved out of the dignity, the inherent dignity of the human person. And the particular focus was slavery, which was a bold disrespect of the human person. Right. And anybody that says that the Civil War was not focused on the question of slavery is either misinformed or insincere, because the leaders of the Confederacy, one particular leader, the vice president of the Confederacy, Alexander Stephens, he said that the whole premise of the establishment of the Confederacy was the preservation of the institution of slavery. Mm. So to enslave a human being is to say that they are not having the inherent value that the enslaved person is of a lesser creation. And so the President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln, he's questioning whether or not that premise is correct. And whatever criticism we might have of America, that particular interest and discussion is what is at stake in every decade and age of this nation's history. And our community of Muslims and our evolution have a central importance in that discussion. Frederick Douglass, he argued in his way, in his eloquence, that there is no democracy except that it recognize its shortcomings with regard to the American Black people. If it cannot, then the democracy is a sham. And that's what he said in July 4th, his July 4th address in Rochester.
Yeah.
And he said in the title of his speech, "What to the American slave is Independence Day." But, you know, very wise man. He, the speech that he gave, knowing the language that he would be using, he gave it the day after, not on the actual day, July 4th, because he didn't want to disturb the honorable spirit of people acknowledging the importance of that recognition of Independence Day. Very wise man and moral thinker.
Well, they'll see that again on July 5th. Imam Terenzo.
Imam, I was listening to what you was just saying. I have some other questions in regards to the confusion that's going on, particularly in America and throughout the world. But what I wanted to have you focus on, you mentioned Frederick Douglass, and I'm thinking about how I was introduced to Frederick Douglass. It was Imam W. Deen Mohammed that introduced me to Frederick Douglass. It wasn't high school. It wasn't, a particular class or this. It was Imam W. Deen Mohammed who focused him properly for me. My question, Imam, why is it a lack of focus and recognition when Imam W. Deen Mohammed focused him in such a way? He focused him in such a way for me and the co-author of the book that we put together, the Dynamic African-American Soul, that we had placed Frederick Douglass on a high level. And that was from Imam W. Deen Mohammed's influence. And recently, Imam, I wanted to say this, I was reading something where Imam W. Deen Mohammed was speaking of Mr. Farrar and Frederick Douglass. And he said that in his home, that he has them both at the same level on his mantle, and said that Frederick Douglass was a special person. I don't hear no other leader coming from our influence identifying with Imam W. Deen Mohammed, putting emphasis on Frederick Douglass as a moral voice and moral leader.
Yeah, well, that's saying something, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It's saying something very, very, very serious. Very serious. I'm a witness to what you're saying, that the Imam had a photo, the standard one that you see of Frederick Douglass in his home. And I know from his speeches, as you have mentioned, and also from conversations with him, that he saw Mr. W.D. Farrar in a very practical way, he said that he believed that Mr. Farad, that he met with certain figures that we now hold up as icons in the freedom struggle of the African American people. But Imam mentioned that he believed that he met with certain of them, that he witnessed their work firsthand. One in particular, Booker T. Washington. Imam W. Deen Mohammed, he said that he believed that Mr. Farad met with Booker T. Washington and visited him at his school, Tuskegee. Booker T. Washington, W.E.B. Du Bois, the major thinkers and representatives of the struggle for the African American people for human and citizenship recognition, they were the moral heirs, if you can put it like that, of Frederick Douglass.
Yes.
Frederick Douglass was, in the time that Frederick Douglass lived, he was the most well-known human being on the earth.
Mm-hmm.
That's not known widely, it's not discussed, but at the time in which he lived, he was the most well-known person on the earth. He was known in Europe, he was known in Africa, he was known in Asia, of course known in the Americas, as the voice of the enslaved people of America, making the argument against that kind of disrespect to human dignity.
Highly photographed too, Imam, in terms of that technology when it came out. He's the most photographed person.
Yeah.
Yes. Mm.
Imam, I had heard a conversation this week, two journalists, two Caucasian journalists, well known. If I was to mention their name, we all would know who they were, but that's not the point. They was having a conversation where one of the journalists asked the other journalist, what is it to be an American? And he said, I'm confused right now. What is it essentially to be an American? And the person that he asked the question to responded that to be American is to be able to raise yourself up through your own merit. And the person asking the question said that used to be before such programs as DEI, diversity, equality, and inclusion, affirmative action, and things of that nature. But he said, I don't understand today what it is to be an American and what unites us. And their conversation, I listened to it, it was confusion. And these were from people that was well known. Like, what is it to be an American? And I wanted to bring that to your attention, Imam, and get your thoughts.
The sacred ideas that put into character how human society should value a human being, and from where that value comes is the foundation for American identity.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not surprised that people are confused about what is American identity presently, because people are confused about what is human identity.
Yes.
And they're not, the conflict in, well, all conflicts really, but in particular, the conflict in Palestine, occupied Palestine, Gaza, and the assault on the innocence of the Palestinian people is most importantly a discussion on human identity and human purpose, human value. So America as a society is set up to have that discussion and come to a conclusion. And the whole premise of America as a society is how the dignity of the human person should be supported by a nation or a country or a government. it should first acknowledge that the human life has fundamental assurances that come from God himself, from the creator of human life. What do you call that creator God or some other language? The idea is that there is divine purpose that has enabled, has given form and life to a human creation and human spirit, and that society has an obligation to recognize that and to accommodate support for that to its fullest and complete aspirations. And so as a characteristic of that, there is the discussion in America of the idea of liberty, freedom, freedom to grow in all of the capacity and measure that the Creator intended for human life. And so the partner to these characteristics that are identified in the Declaration of Independence, the partner to that is a sacred freedom, a sacred liberty. These characteristics are that human life is endowed with certain inalienable entitlements. Life, that is honor to life itself, freedom, liberty, and recognition of potential, pursuit of happiness. That's how they put it. Recognition of potential. So all of the laws that exist are supposed to protect those fundamental rights. And so the constitution of a human being, as God created that human being, evolves into a picture of society to sustain and support that human being. So you have the preamble to the United States Constitution. We the people, an honorable salute to the collective interests of a people in order to form a more perfect union. So here is a description of the aim of society, to create a society that acknowledges the dignity of man and has as an aspiration or ambition to fulfill responsibility completely and wholly, speaking to and acknowledging what God intended when he created a human being. So the language of the preamble to the Constitution is a more perfect union. So this means that there is divine purpose in the human life and divine aim, and the obligation on society to support that is the highest and most important recognition for for American identity. So for us, there's not confusion. We don't have confusion because these ideas are derived from divine guidance. And we see the likeness of Constitution ideas, American constitutional ideas. We see the likeness of them in our holy book, in Muhammad the Prophet's teaching. And our religion focuses the dignity of man. Our religion focuses the aspirations and potential of man. Our religion focuses the inherent value of human life to establish itself in society, and that society itself has responsibility to support the progress of human life. This is given in plain language in the teachings of our religion. You are the best community. Khayra ummatan, ukhrijat linnas, brought out for the good of all people. And established upon the focus to promote the most excellent life, the most highly understood and recognized invitation to establishment of excellence as a model. So this is plain teachings in our religion. Every human life is a descendant to the first human, and the first human was honorable. This is a sacred recognition of the honor of human life, and that all human beings are entitled to that honor, to that recognition. So these are plain teachings in Islam, accessible to us, emphasized by our leadership. So this is what makes us so very special, especially now in America, as you said, in this time of confusion. We have access to this, and we handle it with great, I would think, great skill, because we had a teacher, a leader, who saw these important ideas and saw that the reform influence of Islam had a partner in the commission of American society. So that places us in a very special place.
Mhm. Mm.
Imam Wahid?
No, I mean, I guess even to follow up on that, we understand why people are confused with that, based upon accepting the corrupted identity and not valuing the human person. You're bringing that back out and putting it into focus. And there's a new type of politics that is starting to come upon the horizon that is seeking to answer that type of dignity. There's folks now that when you listen closely to them, they've had to be influenced by us. There's no doubt in my mind. When you hear them and you look at them and you see these movements, Imam Terenzo is going to share with us a clip that he has of the uh, the brother in New York that won the primary at the mayor. A lot of the language that he's trying to identify, oh, that comes straight from the leader, and it comes straight from you. So I think in a time that we're seeing all this confusion, as you have said to us, the guided tradition, if we stay to it and stay focused to it and succeed the leadership of one that has brought this language into the world, well, the world will catch on and it won't be confused. What do you say to that, Imam?
Well, that's our mission.
Yeah.
That's our mission. We are to serve the best interests of human life. And Allah doesn't tell us that that mission will not be filled with challenges, and the pathway to success will not have impediments or difficulties. In fact, what is said in our holy book is that we should be prepared for struggle and that in the course of struggle, the opportunity to establish excellence is the compelling interest. And that's always our pursuit, the establishment of the highest standards of excellence, both in thinking, reasoning, and in action, in behavior.
What do you think about the mayor that won the primary in New York City? I think his name is Mohar Mamdani. Have you seen any of the coverage that they have had on this person here? They said
Yes,
they
yes,
said
you said.
they said
Yes.
he's gotten over 50,000 people to knock on the doors of folks in New York with his message, which they characterize it as far left and socialist, but it has excited the young person to become involved in the political process again. You got any thoughts on that, Imam?
Yeah, I have seen some reports of him, and he's a very magnetic personality, full of life, very articulate, clear-headed, clear-minded message, and he's. I heard him describe his own influences that shaped him, directly related to the conflict in question of the pursuit of respect by the African American people, that the society acknowledged them properly, that the influence that shaped his mind came from that concern, and his devotion to and interest in public service was shaped by that concern. And he described that. He said that his father, who was an immigrant, I believe he may be immigrant too. He may not have been born in the United States. He may be naturalized citizen. I'm not certain of that. Maybe his parents migrated here and he was born here. I'm not certain. But nevertheless, he mentioned that his father was a student, and that his father from Uganda, and father received a scholarship from the United States as a gift to the people of Uganda for their independence from Great Britain. And he was a scholarship recipient, his father, and came to study in the United States. And while he was studying here, he became acquainted with the freedom struggle of the African American people. And he, at some point, actually joined some demonstrations or some of the activities associated with the civil rights movement, and that he was imprisoned at a point, or put in jail, arrested for his activity. Not that it was uncivil, his activity, but it was in the interest of support for the civil rights movement and leadership. So these experiences on the part of his father shaped him as a person. And I see that his mother, she's a filmmaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I see that these influences in him, and he's a very attractive candidate for mayor of New York City. And also, and this is important, he identifies himself as a Muslim. So this is also very important. So I believe that with the little resources that we have, that we should give some support to his campaign for mayor of New York. He has my support.
I think Imam Terenzo was telling me today, this is very refreshing. But once again, each and every time that I hear him, I cannot get out of my mind that the language that we follow and that we uphold and that has been birthed in us, oh, it's starting to take hold here in America. So, and around the world, we're going to need that.
Praise be to Allah.
One last question. This is international one. Do you have a question, Terenzo, that you wanted to ask?
No, go ahead.
This expansion, this expansionness of Zionism in the Middle East. They've taken over the territories of Syria, Lebanon, trying to get settlements in Iraq. We know what they're doing in the Gaza Strip to the Palestinians. How does this play out for us in order to get this stopped? How are the good people of the world are to address this here? I know this is a big question. It's a big problem. But how would you see it as, I believe, as a seer, a person born and bred to understand scripture in these times right here?
Well, first of all, I am obedient to the religion of Islam, and to God is my intent, and our intent is to be obedient to God. And there are obvious areas that show themselves as requirements that display that obedience. And the way that our religion has been taught to us, that those areas of obedience are higher than ritual practices, that
Yes.
Ritual practices by their nature hold in a form the prescriptions for obedience. But the action themselves are just a symbolic reference to what is required of a person in the world, what is required of a person devoted to obedience and belief in God or faith in God in the world. So what perhaps is the most acknowledged ritual for Muslims is the prayers, our prayers. And our prayers are a recitation of our holy book. And our holy book is declaration of faith and principles associated with faith that require establishment in the world and have as influence in the world reform of troubled thinking, reform of troubled behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So I belong to this identity, as you all do as well. And I belong to also, and I seek to be obedient to a tradition of understanding and teaching within the Islamic identity or Muslim identity. And that is the discipline and teaching of the late leader, Imam W. Deen Mohammed. So wherever his commitments were, I believe it's necessary to continue reference and embrace of those commitments. And one commitment that was well known that he made was to the struggle or the determination of the Palestinian people. And it wasn't so much to pronounce the abuses of the oppressors of the Palestinian people. It was to identify in their humanity, identify in the humanity of the Palestinian people, identify in their spirit for establishment as a people, identify in their aspirations, their hopes as a people, very similar to the struggle, hopes, and aspirations of the African American people, and very similar to the circumstances associated with opposition to that struggle. So when I think of what is happening with the Palestinian people, that's readily accessible to me because I identify with it in the same reference that I think of the struggle of the African American people. And anyone understanding the nature of pursuit of citizenship and human recognition can understand what is the plight of the Palestinians. We can associate with them the same spirit and determination that is associated with our history in America. And if we look at, a country like South Africa and the struggle of the South African majority against an oppressive minority, and the systemic oppressive abuse of what was then called the apartheid system. It's another way of identifying the same idea, same scheme of segregation. And so in another form, we see the same scheme working against the Palestinian people. So, it's not a difficult step for us. And also within that discussion or that issue is the aims for what Islamic identity requires, and what is the nature of the claim of the Palestinian people as a people identified by faith in God, and what is required of all those that identify in faith, what is necessary for us to embrace in their struggle. And so there are symbols that are associated with the embrace of faith as identity that are particular to that place on the earth, Jerusalem, that is held in sacred regard by all of the people of faith. All of the heavenly religions focus in some way or another the sanctity of Jerusalem. It's a shared environment held in high regard by Christians and Jews and Muslims. So this is also in focus when we think of the struggle of the Palestinian people. I would think that the guardians and faithful teachers associated with Jewish identity, followers of Moses, would acknowledge the sanctity of the human person and the recognition that whatever society is established should welcome that dignity and support that dignity. That teaching is in Judaism. And yeah, as I said, there's no difficulty for us to acknowledge and put in focus the importance of the Palestinian struggle. What is the end of it? That world governments not be hypocritical in their characterization of the struggle of the Palestinians. That they recognize that whatever their societies seek to guarantee for their citizens, that the Palestinian people have also those same entitlements, and any body or government or institution that aggresses upon those determinations has to be checked. So the end of it would be the cessation of hypocrisy on the part of world governments. And that includes the United States of America.
That's right. And that's the ending that we would like to see. That cessation.
Yes.
Yeah.
If America says it is a society of liberty and justice for all, then what it values for itself, it should cherish for all.
Right.
So if there's a suffering population on the earth, and America historically has committed itself to supporting oppressed populations all over the earth. It has been acknowledged for that. There have been also America's conflict with its own sacred ideas and its support of oppressive powers in the world and on the earth, and its embrace of this present leadership in Israel is one of those strange developments in the national character of the American leadership. And there is an explanation for it, but it would require patience and deliberate suspension of what a person might think is truth.
Right.
You have to suspend what you think is truth
Right.
to hear real truth.
Mhm.
There's a prayer of Prophet Muhammad. He said, he taught this prayer to his followers to say, "Oh Allah, show us truth and cause us to understand it to be truth so that we can support it. And show us falsehood and make us understand that it is falsehood so we can refrain from it."
Mhm.
So persons can think something is truth and it'll be not universal truth. And we have to have the strength to question those things and see things from fresh perspectives. And when it comes to what has been tolerated in terms of the behavior of the leaders in the government of Israel, is shameful.
Yeah.
Shameful on the part of American leaders to sustain the idea that it should be supported, and shameful on the part of world leadership.
that is a good wisdom there, Imam. The the dua of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. That is that is well intended for this time, uh, as we see it. Imam Terenza, we have
Yes,
anything?
yes. Imam, recently in our Thailand WDM School of Islamic Thought and Practice, you said that the people do not favor a successor to Imam W. Muhammad. And you gave reasoning for that. You said because Imam W. Muhammad's leadership has been distorted. And I'm just reflecting on, since I have taken this position in 2019 to support the continuation of Imam W. Muhammad's leadership in the public of America, it seemed to me as though it is a denial, Imam, of the public responsibility that we have as Muslims in the tradition of Imam W. Muhammad. The public responsibility of, as you mentioned, to help the public, deliver the best to the public. It seems as though it's a rejection of that. And it's hard. I'm trying to understand why the rejection.
I don't know. I don't know that it is a rejection. I think that the rank and file member, believer, understands the necessity to work for the betterment of society. And but I think that the leaders, they are weak in their preparation for that responsibility. And rather than reveal their weakness for that preparation, they concentrate themselves on inside activities, and they make more important activities inside the mosque, for example, than they do service in the life of progress of society. And they're not confident with the use of Islamic teaching to challenge society, to improve, and to partner with others who have a vision of what society is supposed to be. They're looking at influences coming from outside of America to help them better understand Islam and its teaching, and they don't have confidence in what we have been given. And so they mask that weakness in them by concentrating on mosque activities. And in so doing, they've weakened the congregations. But the people themselves, I think that they're sensitive to what is necessary. And they might not come out in loud support of me or what we're doing, but I believe that they recognize the importance of it. And they pray for our success. I believe that.
I thank you, Imam, for that clarification, because that was a great help. When you said that, I'm reflecting on a conversation I had some time ago that addresses this incompetent, being incompetent, because the person was trying to get me to accept something inferior. And that's not our tradition. Our tradition is excellence, and that's what Imam Mohammed presented to us. And this person was trying to get me to accept something that he knew wasn't on the level of what Imam Mohammed gave to us, but to accept the reality, Terenzo. This is our reality right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, I see the critiques of myself, and I recognize what it is. It's fear. Fear to go forward, fear to support leadership. And, you know, one of the reasons why we don't have the degree of establishment that we should have as a community, given the knowledge base that we have, is because it's being denied us by God. We're being denied certain kinds of establishments because we can't correct the problem within our own issues as African American people. We can't correct. We're not open to Islam correcting that problem. So because we won't permit that, our leaders won't permit that to happen, then we are denied a certain level of establishment. And not until our people are sincere and honest about addressing this will we see the kind of necessary progress that is associated with recognition of an Islamic destiny. So I'm hopeful. But I see still the residual influence of plantation weakness.
Right.
I see that. For example, I saw something, and the person was the critique of myself and others that support my leadership. The person said, rather than trying to get people to accept your leadership, just do the work. You know, and I thought to myself, characterize what is the work, because I haven't. Now I could be wrong, but I haven't seen any leader associated with Imam W. Deen Mohammed that has been more prolific in work than myself. And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back. I'm just stating a fact. I don't see any.
No public addresses since 2008.
Public addresses, public discussions,
Right.
Addressing critical matters, not just on behalf of the Islamic community, but on behalf of the American people and human populations all over the earth. I haven't seen anyone addressing those. I've seen people posing, but I haven't seen anyone addressing those issues with our teaching with more clarity and focus and confidence and preparedness than what I have shown. And I'm not saying it again that I'm special in any particular way. I just know that I was prepared for responsibility. You can't be the representative of Imam W. Deen Mohammed during his lifetime and not recognize that as preparation for a time in the future beyond his life that is a requirement. All that preparation wasn't just for that moment in time. It was for the future. And he sensitized me to that. And again, you know, the leaders in our group, they know that. They know it now. They knew it then. So I believe that the critiques of us are immoral.
Yeah.
They're immoral. They're sinful, and they're weak. But weak in the sense of lack of faith and selfishness. Because, for example, the criticism of me as a person who betrayed the trust in some way. When did Imam W. Deen Mohammed ever say that? The only people that have said that are people who have positioned themselves to be a distraction for the progress of our community. And the persons that they identify as having been abused in some way by me, where are those people? In other words, the people that I supposedly have hurt in some way, why haven't we heard from any of them? Because it's a made up story to distract the spirit of the people. And the fact of the matter is that when they make the argument that Imam W. Mohammed has no successor, really what they're saying is that they themselves did not accept Imam W. Mohammed's leadership, but it was never challenged in them. They could simulate the idea that they were supporters, but in reality, they were not. So when the time came to really show strong support for his idea and his teaching and his style of leadership and his emphasis, this time they can't do it.
Mhm.
They won't do it.
They threw it away.
Well, they were insincere then, and they're insincere now.
Yes.
Imam, we got a question out of the chat here I want to share with you real quick. I thought it would be something that we might close with this one, but it says, Assalamu alaikum. The question for Imam Abdulmalik: how do we Muslims disposition ourselves psychologically to live through these corrupt times that are chipping away at our democracy and basic human rights?
There's a verse in the Quran, and it says, hold to the line, the rope that Allah extends to you,
Mhm.
and that it is the most trustworthy holding, or the most trustworthy grip. And if a person, a believer, holds to the discipline of Islamic life and holds to the characteristics of Islamic identity and promotes that, lives for that, supports that whatever they might lose in the processes of struggle to hold on to that, they will have a compensation for it. So if the loss is confusion for a time, it will be compensated. There'll come the time of clarity. If the loss is resources, that will be restored to them. If the loss is vision, sight will be given back to them. But the commitment and the obligation is to hold through the difficulties,
Right.
to hold through the challenges. And if you know and can attach yourself to someone who sees clearly and has the necessary determination and confidence to go forward through the difficulty and challenges, then hold on to that person. They're a reference point for the rope that God extends. And in our case, if you can see Imam W. Deen Mohammed, then hold on to him.
That's right.
And if you can't see him clearly, but you can see me clearly, then hold on to me, because I'm holding on to him and he's holding on to Prophet Muhammad. And the lifeline came from God to Prophet Muhammad for humanity.
Praise be to Allah.
Praise be to Allah. Thank you, Imam, for
I
joining
guess
us.
we'll
for
close
another
there. Yes.
Dynamic episode of Bilalian Voices in the Tradition of Imam W. Deen Mohammed. It really makes my soul feel good. I heard Imam Mohammed say one time, he said he got the Holy Ghost, but he containing it. And that's how I feel every time I listen to you, Imam, because I hear
Praise
Imam
God.
Deen Mohammed.
Right.
There's no exaggeration. I know what I'm hearing. The
Yes, sir.
student knows the voice of his teacher. Praise be to
That,
Allah.
yeah,
Praise
that closing right there, it makes the young people say he's a real one. We want to invite you Tuesday, Imam, back on the Greater Rochester Bag Facebook Live. We'll be giving you that invitation and in anticipating you coming to Rochester on July 5th at the Memorial Art Gallery. And your topic is going to be the commencement of America, the dawning of the just order. And we just want our viewing audience to remember this is our 4th annual Independence Day address by Imam Earl Abdulmalik Muhammad. And so with that, you get the closing last statement, Imam. Anything that you want to say to us? Anything that we should be aware of, or?
Well, first of all, I congratulate the group in Rochester for their commitment and consistency. And I don't think of it only as support for myself, but I think of it as support for the public vision of our community. And Rochester is, to me, as important as any other American city with regard to a setting to spread and invite to what America promises according to how it should be supported by people of faith. And so you have, Brother Imam Hanif, you and the brothers that all of you cooperating with each other have provided an opportunity and a venue for us to display for America what is our message. And I congratulate you for that. Thank Allah. I thank God for your commitment.
Praises be to Allah. Thank you.
I'd like to conclude now with the announcements. As Imam Hanif just mentioned, our 4th annual Muslim American Independence Day address in the tradition of Imam W. Deen Mohammed will take place next Saturday, July 5th, 2025, in the historic city associated with the life works of the Honorable Frederick Douglass, Rochester, New York. Muslim American leader Imam Earl Abdulmalik Muhammad will deliver a major public address, entitled The Commencement of America, Dawning of the Just Order. Again, this is our annual Independence Day address. It will take place at the Memorial Art Gallery. Doors open at 12 noon. The address is 500 University Avenue, Rochester, New York. And before the major public address, we will have a brief performance, jazz performance, from Rochester's own international recording artist, Mr. Jimmy Highsmith. Attendance is free and open to the public. For more information, you can go to MuslimAmericanMinistry.com. And join us every Sunday for our Taaleem entitled Researching Islam as Faith, Knowledge, and Action in America in the Modern World. Instruction and Reasoning, Taaleem, in the WDM School of Islamic Thought and Practice, led by his successor, Imam Earl Abdulmalik Muhammad. For more information, you can go to eamspeaks.com and hit the tab WDM School of Islamic Thought and Practice. This is a free class open to the public. Now we would like to conclude with the prayer for purification and purpose by Imam W. Deen Mohammed. O Allah, we cannot manage this life for ourselves, not without you. Please make our life what you would want it to be, what you prefer it to be. Do not allow us to act on our own. Help us to act only in obedience to you. We hear you, we obey you, and we look to you for forgiveness, our Lord. And to you is the destination. Amen.
Amen. Assalamu